Good morning and welcome to our 20th annual exhibit of hydrogen and fuel cell technologies. We've added batteries this year, so it's something new for us. We're combining a number of topics in one area, all of course related to our energy problems. One of the energy problems we face right now in this energy market is, of course, the issue of conventional heating for homes. And I'm pleased to welcome on the stage a specialist in the field. We'll be talking about residential fuel cells that are closer than ever to the market. And I'll be speaking with Jörg Schmidt, who is head of public relations at Viessmann and a member of the Fuel Cell Initiative here in Germany. Please welcome with me Jörg Schmidt.
Hi, Brian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Jörg. So, I suppose for those who don't know, because Viessmann is a huge company actually,
yep.
But for those who don't know, could you tell us a bit about the company and its history?
Yeah. Viessmann is a family-owned company, and it's founded in 1917 in a little town which is called Hof in Bavaria, and it moved in the 1930 years to Allendorf, which is a little town too. It's located in northern Hessen. I think 1 hour drive north of Frankfurt, and there is the headquarters of Viessmann. We have a turnover of 2 billion euros last year, more than 2 billion euros last year, about 12,400 employees, and we have sales activities in 74 countries all over the world, and about 27 factory sites in 13 countries.
Now, you guys are really specialists in the heating issue, aren't you? I mean, this is one of your big business focuses. So tell us a bit about that, what type of heating units you supply, and how you move towards getting involved in the fuel cell side of heating.
Yes, I will do. In the former times, we were specialists for heating systems which were fired with oil or gas, natural gas. And I think about the last 20 years, we moved to become a customer or a factory for a comprehensive product range for all applications and for all energy systems. That means for natural gas, for oil, and for all of the renewable energies.
What were the real motivations behind moving towards fuel cells? I mean, we still rely heavily on natural gas.
Yeah.
You still supply natural gas technologies. So what is the motivation right now that's getting you moving in the direction of fuel cells?
Yeah, I think we became a member of the initiative of Brennstoffzelle, initiative for fuel cells. 12 years ago, of course, we thought it would become a very important technology for heating of houses. And so we worked on this issue for the last 10 or 12 years. And at the moment, we are ready for the market. We have sold our first fuel cell heating systems the last 2 weeks.
Okay, fuel cells, of course, they go through a phase of development and then they get this testing phase. So have you been operating these fuel cells for some times now?
Yeah, we had a big test in the last 12 months, and about 3 dozen of fuel cells. And we took a lot of experience from that test. And now we are ready for the market. And there is another aspect. We are using a fuel cell from our cooperation partner Panasonic. Panasonic, I think you know, the Japanese, the guests know Panasonic as well as all of us, is one of the leading technology companies in the world with a detailed expertise for fuel cells. And Viessmann is an expert, or is a company with an expertise for heating systems. And so we matched our both expertises and developed a fuel cell heating system for the German and the European market.
Now, of course, when we develop fuel cells for a specific, we're talking about residential applications. You're very close to the market here. And one of the first questions is, what size of unit do you start with? So what size of unit are you working with right now? Is it a single apartment unit? Is it a community power supply? What are you doing?
No, it's a PEM fuel cell, and it's perfect for 1 or 2 family houses. with a low heating energy, and we can provide this house with the basic heating which is necessary, and hot water and a lot of power.
So it does basically, by comparison with the conventional gas heating unit, it produces not only enough warmth for the house, but it also supplies you with electrical energy.
Yeah, that's what we call a combined heat and power machine, and there are several advantages for this technology. The first advantage is you can reduce CO2 emissions up to 50% with this technology. Compared with a common technology. So you can reach climate targets very easily with this technology. And the second advantage is if you are producing the heat in your house, you get the power just for the same price, and that's much more efficient for the owner of these houses.
Now, when I think of the immediate application, you have one family unit. It is supplying its own heat using a PEM fuel cell, which recovers the heat. At the same time, you're creating electrical energy. Conceivably, you could be independent of the grid. But is there a way of, I mean, if you have one house and they turn on, the daughter's running her hairdryer, the kid's watching TV, and mama decides to wash her clothes, so you have a peak demand there. Do you integrate these homes into something like an intelligent local grid? Is that one of the things, the future applications that you're thinking about?
Yeah, that will be the next step. The engine, you can see it over there on the booth of the country Hessen. That's our fuel cell heating system, and it's smart grid ready. The next step will be to build some small areas with some houses, and we can improve this technology.
Okay, so you've got these things up and running. Have you got feedback from people who are actually using these in their homes?
Yeah. I told you a few minutes ago, there are, I think, 30 fuel cell heating systems in a big test, and this test is started 12 months ago, and the experience are very good. They have warm houses and a lot of power for consumption.
These are up and operating now. Of course, we run into all sorts of questions around this, cost questions, for example, questions about what changes we can expect if you start to mass manufacture these units. Are they going to be less expensive? So what do you see as the next steps as you progress towards commercialization, which you're already doing right now?
Yeah, you're right, Brian. Nowadays, you have to pay about 30,000 euros for this fuel cell heating system, which is nearly a double of a heat pump. That's expensive, that's true, but we are sure that we can decrease the prices very fast when we are selling bigger numbers of this fuel cell heating system. And important for all the producers on the booth of the IBZ, the Initiative of Fuel Cells, there are 7 producers of fuel cells, and we all, our opinion is we need a program to introduce this technology in the market from the German government. That should be a program with a high level Unterstützung,
support,
with a high level support, thank you very much, but with a very fast digression. Maybe in 5 or 6 years, so we will sell a lot of fuel cells, and the number of fuel cells will getting higher and higher, and so the prices will get down.
I should add, of course, that if there are questions from the audience, just raise your hand, and as soon as I see your question, I'll pass on a microphone to you. until such time as there are questions, I'd like to continue on this topic
Yeah.
of the commercialization. When we begin with new technologies, we always face new costs. At some point, we had to build highways for cars, and then we had to build gas stations to supply the cars. Changing technologies is
Yeah.
always something where the old technologies have an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
And the new technologies are stuck trying to convince people that we have to make this investment. So I suppose there are two questions. I suppose the first question would be, is it easy to convince the consumer? Let's say we have a consumer here and we could install one of these units. Initially, this involves spending more money
Yeah.
than for a conventional unit. But is it easy to show them on paper and in fact, that in long term, they're going to be putting money in the bank, that they're going to be saving money?
I think that's our target. At the moment, we are working on that issue. But the most advantage from our point of view at the moment is it's very easy to build this fuel cell heating system into your house, because it's fired by natural gas, and you don't need any more things, just natural gas, and you can install it and it's ready for heat the house.
Mm-hmm. So basically, in terms of installation, it's not more complicated than installing a normal unit?
It's just as easy as a gas-fired condensing boiler, which is used already nowadays.
Mm-hmm. When we look at the future of the energy issue here, these units are now constructed to operate on natural gas, which is a finite resource.
Yes.
But they also use a PEM cell, which is very flexible if you modify the fuel. So this makes you relatively, I mean, if you install a conventional heating system, it is a system designed for either natural gas or oil. So is there a potential in the long term to make these units so flexible that we can move from, for example, natural gas to hydrogen supplied through electrolysis from the North Sea? Is it easy to make this a sort of flexible application in the long term?
Maybe. Let me take another point. One of our daughter companies, it's called Hexis. It's located on the IBZ booth 2. That's for us, for the Viessmann company, the next step. They are developing another kind of fuel cell. It's an SOFC fuel cell, which is for us much more important, because the PEM fuel cell is perfect for new houses with low energy consumption or heating energy consumption. And the fuel cell from our daughter company, Hexis, it works on a higher temperature level, and so it's perfect for the older houses, which need a little more heating energy.
So there are separate types of units and constructions that sort of, depending on the residential application, they are.
Yeah, and I think what you mentioned is the transmission in Germany. What's the chance for transmission? That's depending not only on the fuel cell heating systems, it's depending on a lot of CHP, combined heat and power systems. They produce heat and power at the place where you need it. And so it's very easy, or you don't have to transport the power over 1 or 2 or 500 kilometers with a high voltage grid. You can use it there, and it's better for the grids to have this decentral production.
This is, of course, a huge issue because many people do not realize the grid can create losses of energy of around 30%. A lot of electrical energy can get lost, and also we face the issue of energy storage. Storing excess production of electricity is also a notoriously difficult issue. What do you do with it? Where do you put it?
Oh, that's another issue, and I can tell you, or can speak about this issue for more than an hour. It's called power to gas, and we are developing a new method to take power from the wind or solar production which we can't use at the moment. And in that case, we can use that power to produce H2 and give it into our biogas plants. That's a part of our comprehensive product range. And in this biogas plant, you can, there are microorganisms, and they make from this H2 and CO2 methane. And that's our way to solve a lot of problems from transmission. You can store that renewable energy, and you can transport it in the gas pipelines. That these are two big advantages to get a lot of power from the wind power energy or the solar photovoltaic power into the gas net.
It sounds to me like a more elegant solution rather than having, no one seems to want to build this, the electrical cables running all the way from the North Sea down to Bavaria, so that people can plug in their things down in Bavaria to feed that into a grid that already exists of natural gas. So this sounds wonderful. I add again, if there are any questions from the audience, please just raise your hand. And we do have a question. I'll bring you the microphone.
Hi, the name's Franklin Liao from Sonic Electrical Equipment. Well, I got a question, all right. Natural gas per year really costs, okay, I'm using American household, for example, maybe $700 to $800 per, sorry, okay, can you hear me now? Okay, there we go. Yeah, in USA, we're looking about $700 to $800 per year when it comes to heating an average American household. Based on your figure right now, you're talking about an extensive, a very, very long payback period, more than 10 years. If you're normally when we're looking at household development, that's kind of a cost prohibitive thing. I mean, think about it. A boiler itself maybe about $3,000, €2,000 maximum. So how are you making the case to households when it comes to adopting this? I'm really curious about that. Thank you very much.
Yes. Oh, that depends on a lot of facts. How much is the price for natural gas in that town or country where you live, and how much heating energy do you need, and how many people live in your house, and. But at the end of the day, and that's the experience from our cooperation partner from Panasonic. They have installed more than 30,000 fuel cells in Japan since 6 years, and there was a program from the Japanese government to introduce this technology. And if you look at the slide, I'm sorry, I don't have this slide here, but the prices, they can decrease the help from the government, because the cost for the fuel cells decreases too. And the number of sold fuel cells is rising, and it depends on how much fuel cells will be sold in the next 2 or 3 years to get in a higher number.
Sorry, but are you making the case where the fuel cell is a supplement to the existing heat exchange system?
No.
Or, okay, that's important.
No, it's a full heating system.
Okay.
Because if you have a look at this engine, on the left-hand side there is a fuel cell inside, and on the right-hand side there is all the other equipment. It's an condensing gas-fired boiler, and you are using the same gas as for the for the fuel cell, and the electric power is about 750 watt. And the heating power is 1,000 watt, but the condensing gas boiler is possible to give you 19,000 watt. So you don't need any more equipment for heating your house or get enough warm water and power.
Certainly the detailed questions are more easily dealt with at the booth.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there is data on this. It's very important. There are also, of course, issues of how prices drop.
Yeah.
But what I find so interesting is there's also a political price. involved here. We pay a lot for electrical energy in Europe, and these costs seem to be increasing consistently. Natural gas is almost criminally cheap by comparison, which is why in Europe they use so much of it, particularly in Germany. The household uses quite a bit of energy in the form of natural gas. But this is where it's interesting for me, because this technology actually uses natural gas far more effectively.
But let me speak about a bigger advantage, because a lot of houses in Germany are very old, and they have very old heating systems. I think it's about 12 million heating systems are fired with natural gas. And the average of the age is about 25 years. And you're wasting energy. You're wasting a lot of energy. I think we can decrease our energy consumption in Germany up to 30% if you are using modern heating technology nowadays. And these 12 million heating systems, which are very old now, this is a big chance for fuel cell heating systems or other combined heat and power systems, or just another product from our comprehensive product range. So we are ready for all cases.
We've run out of time, unfortunately, but we have to continue the conversation at the booth. Jörg Schmidt's company and booth are in this direction.
Yes. E51, it's the EBC, and if you went to the left side, there is the booth of my company.
Yeah. So please join Jörg Schmidt there. I've been talking with Jörg Schmidt, Head of Public Relations at Viessmann. It's been a pleasure having you. You've been here before. I hope you come back next year.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.